time for Bryan's Lunch Truck. And now here's your host, Bryan Moots.
This is Bryan's Lunch Truck Radio. I'm Bryan, CarpenterValleyRadio.com. Our guest today is Peter Dugre, correct?
Yeah, Peter Dugre.
Fantastic. Of Two Trumpets Communication.
That's correct.
Right. Pay attention to the... Don't look over there.
Well, I got to know if it's a question. I thought you already looked at my resume. No.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it because people might
I'm from
not.
Planet Earth.
Yeah.
I told Bryan that when you were on my podcast, I was seeking info to be able to set you up properly, and all I could find was a writer for carp growers, and that doesn't even cover it.
Yeah, I think you do. I have a feeling you do a lot more than that. Before we go on, though, I want to give a shout-out to Mary Radis. And she's a brand new grandma, has the cutest little grandkid.
Awesome.
Fantastic. She's a good woman. She's a lot of fun. She's great spirit, and she's part of our trash mob in the Santa Claus Lane area.
Didn't know.
And her group pick up about 7 to 10 bags of trash every Sunday when they go out.
Wow.
It's amazing. So she really is really good. And she is a property owner, I think, where Roots was going to go in, or is going to go in still. I'm not sure what the situation is with that.
It's all approved. It's all set to go, but we're hearing word of maybe a change in the ownership and a lot of paperwork that could slow things down. That's what we wanted to know. That's what we're waiting for word on.
Right. I think the industry, it's just, I hate to say it, just too much paperwork.
Yeah. No, that's a big part of the problem.
I would say, as I've said to the Planning Commission in Santa Barbara and wrote, is this was a wine tasting place or bourbon tasting place, would be okay in 10 seconds. Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
Go it down. Oh, and you're 40 feet from the 101. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I want to give a shout out to the Alcazar Theater tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're playing Up in Smoke, 7 p.m. It's 4:20. Come on out.
Classic.
It is a classic. The theater's doors will open at 6:30. Please join us at the Alcazar for Up in Smoke. It's Cheech and Chong. It's a good show. It's a lot of fun. If you want to partake in the parking lot like you're 15 years old at high school, go ahead.
There are always edibles.
Yes. I don't even think edibles.
They're all the rage these days, right, Peter?
Yeah. If you don't want to take the smoke into your lungs, I think edibles is a good entry point to figure out what cannabis, how you like to take cannabis.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful though with edibles.
That's the thing we're hearing.
For sure. I think the first time I tried them, I ended up on a sofa with a tube of ice cream on my belly. So that was.
So you were kind of in heaven.
I don't know if I was supposed to be somewhere else, but it wasn't happening.
Yeah, really. I married a gallon of ice cream. We still get along really well. That's amazing. And you work or you promote. Through Two Trumpets, you're a consulting firm that helps with the communication of a firm, say carp growers, and getting their message out in a clear, concise way.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good way to sum it up. With carp growers, so carp growers has been a client of Two Trumpets Communications since 2018. So we've done a lot of work with them under sort of the umbrella of community outreach, education, and forming a lot of great community partnerships. Right. So that's been a really involved effort with a lot of cannabis coming and growing in Carpinteria at once. So it has been and is ongoing a great project to get to know people and get to know. Get to know where they stand on cannabis.
And you have a good relationship with them. You like working with them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, Carp Growers has been an excellent group just for really advancing and maturing the way people approach cannabis farming and how to kind of think about it beyond a stigma of cannabis and to look at, this is an industry not much different than avocados or strawberries where you grow a product and you put it on the market to sell and it's good business.
And how many growers are a part of Carp Growers? How many are represented by Carp Growers?
So we have what we call 9 companies that are members. Some of them have multiple greenhouse properties in Carp. So yeah, 9 member farms operating about 20 different farm properties.
All right. Hey, listen, let's get to some music. Okay. And then I want to talk to you later on about the community, some of the backlash to the marijuana industry, some of the problems facing it, maybe even some of the solutions we can talk about with the community, the technicalities with the legal, illegal market. And the illegal market, by the way, just outshadows just overwhelms the legal market by several $billion. And we find that probably the regulations and the blockades put up by communities doesn't help that situation at all.
Right, sure.
So we can cover that. But
How many hours are we doing?
5,000.
Okay.
Yeah. We're 5,000. Well, I have 2 gallons of ice cream and some gummy bears. So you'll just be comfortable, relax. Bottom line, by 1:40, I think he'll be snoring.
Yeah.
And that'll be the interview. So
We're on 420 time today.
420 time. Hey, the first song we got going is by Cloudy Dub, Hidden Operator. I tried to look up who they were, a little bit of history. I couldn't find anything except for Cloudy Dub. Got them out of Bermuda on another show, just a fantastic show, Dr. Dick's Dub Shack.
Yeah.
And it just fits the 420 mode. And then after that, it's your choice, Peter. You picked Al Green on Annie Lennox. Put a Little Love in Your Heart. It was a really nice song. Released in
I wasn't aware they did that.
I know, I didn't either. Yeah. No, it was a really good choice. So,
Yeah.
And it's a good vibe song. So, hey, let's go with it, man. Cloudy Dub, Hidden Operator. Okay. Hey, we have Brian's Lunch Truck Radio, CarpenterValley.com radio, CarpenterValleyRadio.com.
There you go.
See, this is why I'd be the worst 911 dispatcher. I'll tell you right now. I'd argue with a person. I don't think you're on Avenue 15. I don't think so. No, I am. It says, you know what? I can tell. I just don't sound. I don't hear any background noise. Are you going to send help? No, I don't believe it.
I'm hanging up now.
You're the worst dispatcher ever. I am not. Anyway, bottom line, hey, listen, we just got done listening to Al Green and Annie Lennox. Put a Little Love in Your Heart. And before that, Cloudy Dub, Hidden Operator.
That Put a Little Love from some Christmas movie.
It probably is. This was released in 1988.
Scrooged with Bill Murray.
There it is.
Wow,
Yeah,
see,
it was in that movie.
Yeah, look at that smile. You can't see it. He has a great smile. Does.
Infectious.
Yeah.
Put a little love in your heart.
Yeah, okay. All right, stop flirting with the guest. Okay, I want to talk to you about Pete Dugre, about what you found. I'm not sure how it affected you, some of the backlash to the growers, to the industry in Carpinteria, and what do you think the industry has addressed those concerns?
Yeah, well, it was a moving target of a years-long conversation, and I think that start us off 2016, there was still 30%, 35% of the population who thought that if you had cannabis, you should be in jail. So that's a steep hill to climb for a community conversation to have if some of the population's so dug in, they think that what you're doing is criminal. So we had to kind of get over those natural fears that came with the stigma. There'd be crime wave, there'd be property value devaluation. Nobody would want to visit Carpinteria anymore, so we'd lose tourism. And so, coming from a community and a cannabis farming perspective, I knew those things weren't true, but I also knew that they were a long conversation to have and really need to be a way to earn a better reputation, to be more transparent, show that cannabis farming can be done responsibly and it's not a threat to anyone. But then the other part of the conversation, which was a lot realer and still is real for some people, is the odor.
Correct.
Cannabis has a strong odor and some people don't like it a lot.
Right.
And add to that, if you don't like that odor and it reminds you that you think there's a cartel living next door, you're going to be really mad.
Yes.
Can I say pissed off on a radio?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. No, you can
this-
say this is. You can say almost anything.
No, I love the smell. I love the smell.
Do you
When
really?
I get out of my car at 7-Eleven at 6:30 in the morning, I get a little waft. That's pleasant to me. That's the smell of success.
Well, that's also much better than the person who lives around the corner of 7-Eleven and uses the corner as a bathroom. so anything is better than that.
Good
But it doesn't bother me as much. But where I live, I'm a further away. So if it's anything, it's kind of whiff. I'm sure it's a concern for people on Foothill. Might be next to a farm.
Now, the key question on that, Peter, that I hear that people ask is that a result of black market grows or the scrubbing systems and whatnot not being effective enough?
I wouldn't point a finger at black market grows in 2023, and maybe 2017 to 2019 I would use the word gray, because it was a big transition from a black market to a legit market, and we're still seeing that transition. But in Carpinteria, greenhouse farming is legitimate. It's highly regulated, and controlling your odor is part of regulation.
Right.
The way that we've done it over the years has advanced and evolved, and and some folks now have odor scrubbers inside their greenhouses that just treat a lot of air really efficiently to make sure that when it leaves the greenhouse, it's not that punch you in the face skunk smell. It's okay, maybe it'll smell on Foothill Road at 8 a.m. 4 days of the week mildly or something,
Right.
And that's progress. And I think that if you combine that with more reasonable attitude toward the cannabis plant, where you don't say you belong in jail, you say this is legitimate business, and then you smell a smell, it becomes something more tenable for a community.
That's interesting because, say, in Camarillo, they have large parsley farms, and you have that green smell. Now, somebody might not like it. It was illegal.
Gilroy, garlic. Hello.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. Have you seen the change in attitude in the community in the last 5 years? 4 years?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a lot of hard work from the farmers. They've invited a lot of people in to tour a farm, to ask any question they want. We're wide open publicly through carp growers in our association to just keep showing up and keep being there and develop a positive and responsible reputation for farming.
When it comes to opening a dispensary, I'm not sure if you can answer these questions. We realize there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of regulation, and some pushback, obviously. What would you like to see? What do you see that's different when I say I want to open up a wine tasting room and I want to open up a dispensary? What's the difference in obstacles to those two entities?
Well, I think that they start right off with a cap. That's most municipalities, like Carpinteria is 0 is the cap, but like Santa Barbara County, the cap I think was 6 for dispensaries throughout the county, and then that becomes a long kind of application process where you have to go through multiple hearings just to see who can get the right to then possibly have a dispensary approved. I mean, honestly, personally, I think down the road, the best bet is just to have a 7-Eleven type of product where you can sell it over the counter to anyone of age. But in our current system, there's just layers upon layers, and it goes back to how the transition to a legal market came about, where it was every individual municipality or local government had a chance to write its own regulations, and those were in addition to the state regulations. So there's kind of a patchwork that makes that creates disunity within a marketplace.
Right, there's not a unified law.
Right.
There's not unified guidelines.
Two-thirds of the state, you still have a 0 dispensary model, and then places like Santa Barbara that allegedly just open the doors to cannabis, you're still 5 years after the regulation went in place trying to get one dispensary open in South County.
Do you think in a lot of ways, in some communities, including Santa Barbara, which is supposedly very liberal, and it is, but there's obviously a lot of backlash, or there's been quite a bit of backlash to dispensaries. Do you think some of the regulations have been crafted to have the potential dispensary fail?
Well, I think if the lead time to opening your doors, and that's not lead time where you're money neutral, you're spending money along the way to get through permitting, and then you're not having any revenue come in, that's of course a huge obstacle. That means you have to be so well capitalized just to even think about putting in an application to open a dispensary.
Yeah. And how was it for the farmers? I don't know if you, again, I'm kind of using you as our expert here and might be able to answer some of the questions. Okay, not. How was it for the farmers and their regulations, the growers coming in, like switching from flowers to marijuana? What was it, a difficult process? Was it difficult getting the funding, or impossible?
It's a years long process, and I think it speaks to how strict cannabis regulation is. You can grow anything else on this same exact property without going through really any hoops, because agriculture as enforcement's more passive in general. You have an ag property, you can put up a barn without much fuss. Right. You have an ag property that grows cannabis, you can't. What you're doing is having to update the whole property as if it's a new project, just to get your business license to grow cannabis. So that includes stuff like putting in all new septic systems, putting in all new driveways and roundabouts on the property for traffic flow. Some cases having to underground electrical wiring at the owner's expense. It's a huge process, and I think it's not good for the farmer's bottom line. It's from a Carpinteria Valley standpoint, we've seen a major facelift on a whole huge swath, the whole ag belt in town, all these greenhouse properties that, may have been falling apart in 15 are now suddenly they're revamped, they're ready to go, they're really securing our ag base in Carpinteria, which kind of puts up that buffer and pushes off the overdevelopment we fear so much living here.
Right, because it makes the land more valuable.
Right, so
housing.
So having those ag properties be revamped has been good for the valley, but definitely not good for the business model of farms who want to be able to focus on growing and selling quality products to the California market.
And for the employees there, the guys who do the picking, who do the trimming and so forth, they're paid pretty well, or are they paid minimum?
They're generally union, are they not?
No, they're not union, but there's over 1,000 employees employed in growing cannabis in Carpinteria, and I think for a while there were complaints from other areas of the ag sector saying, "Hey, you're taking all of our employees, you're paying them better, they have benefits, they have they don't have a job that comes in seasons, they're at the same place," and in many cases these are the same employees that have been working on greenhouse farms in Carp for decades, even predating cannabis.
You got my attention there when you're union, because I'm a double union guy.
Yeah.
So
well, that was one of my first concerns too. Is one of the mountain of complaints that the complainers have is, this is abusive to the workers somehow. But that's not the case at all.
Yeah, I think that might come from a fear of being in proximity to, if you're in a mindset that cannabis is something dangerous, then you think being in proximity to it's going to wear on you over time or something. But it's a flower.
I know, and I wanted to ask you first if you're aware of other areas in the state where grows take place. Is there that much about the smell? Is this common in communities that set up grows? I know there aren't that many, but there's Humboldt and places along the way. I'm wondering if the backlash against the smell alone is like it is here.
Well, we definitely see it in North County and San Ynez Valley. So Carpinteria,
the winemakers have a big problem.
Right. So Carpinteria is exclusively greenhouse. We are uniquely situated close to residential and community, whereas some greenhouses might not be situated in that close proximity. But you see in North County with outdoor grows in the San Ynez Valley, and there being some conflict with wine growers, which I found it personally funny. Not funny for people having to smell something they want to smell, but funny that when Sunstone Winery, it's a big brand in San Ynez Valley, they started growing cannabis. So to me, that alongside their wines, their wine grapes, so that kind of changed the conversation a little bit. And I just saw headlines come out that they have a sparkling cannabis beverage now grown at Sunstone Winery.
Wow.
But that got off topic. I think that there is a reaction to the cannabis odor, and some of it is extra weighted due to perception of cannabis.
But I also want to bring up the point, to have a counterpoint, is some of the areas in central Northern California, through the LA Times article and research, there's a lot of abuse by workers, and it might be illegal grows, but there's been a lot of abuse of the workers living in dire poverty
those situations. Yeah.
And in fact, the recent shooting up in Monterey County was one of the farms they found that underpaid, housing situations under really bad. I can't think of the word right now. So there is a problem with that. Our concern would be
not in Carpinteria.
No, that's what I say. But our Carpinteria is much different than that. We're talking outlying areas where inspections could be minimal, where you have illegal, covering acres, but illegal growers. They're not certified at all. So it does exist, but here it seems to be pretty good. And I would be more than happy if 1,000 people could join a union. Personally,
maybe in the future, who knows?
Just to be nice to have safety standards, and we can just go with that. And I think the marijuana industry here, and I'm here specifically, and I'm not going to talk about anybody else, is pretty responsive to the community. I always thought that I don't partake in any way, but I found that the growers were pretty responsive to the community concerns.
Oh, for sure.
And they seem to come in with new technologies are coming in. As the industry grows, new technologies will grow with it, with the scrubbing, with better odor abatement processes and so forth. And I noticed that the crime level has not increased. I know that was a fear.
But property values have.
Yeah. Right. It's a slow process. So
I think they went up too fast.
Maybe so.
Lucky us. We've been here since 1993, so we're good. But if you haven't, it's not good.
Yeah, newcomers, it's tough.
Yeah, it is. Hey, listen, guys, let's get to some more music.
Hey, first, if we could,
what?
After this program,
what?
A very special event.
Oh, you're talking about the...
Yes, it is the traditional blessing of the herb with Ardas, the host of Grateful Grooves, every Sunday evening here on Carpenter Valley Radio, and Preacher Herb. Well, I think it's Preacher Herb. And it's just 20 minutes of silliness and praising the herb, and they do it every 4:20, and that's going to be on directly after this program.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Wanted to let you know.
Yeah, this is we're part of a groundswell of accepting something that was illegal for many, many years, and felony cases for just a small amount has changed.
Yeah,
and I want to talk a little bit, later on about the federal laws, state laws, the financing, cash only, how that's changing. And when you get rid of cash only, the crime level, potential for crime is reduced considerably.
Right.
Obviously, But let's get some music. Hey, so during my YouTube search for music for the show, and I have a thing for, because my wife's from Africa, but I have a thing for Africa. I came across this woman. Her name's Anggun, and she is from Jakarta, Indonesia. African. She's this is Lanij Sahara, which is snow in the Sahara. And she's 48. She's a great singer, and I just really love the song. I'm really going more into what she has. And of course, and after that, we're going to play Bob Marley's "One Love," which
of course
can't even argue with that.
Got to have an
song.
appearance by Bob.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. So let's hit it off. And also, I want to make sure tonight again at the Alcazar, we're at 7 p.m. playing Up in Smoke.
Cheech and Chong.
Get on down, y'all.
And is it Chicha has his new museum of Latin art?
I believe so.
Yes.
I think it is, yeah.
I heard it's really, really, really good. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's really fantastic.
He's remarkable. He really is.
He is remarkable, yeah. He's a very smart man and was funny in his time and still probably pretty funny. But he's transitioned to something, to culture and art and continuing on the trend. So you can't argue with that. So let's begin with Agun, Lanij Sahara, Marley, One Love, Bryan's Lunch Truck Radio, CompanyOfValleyRadio.com. Hit it, Dennis! All right, we're back. Bryan, this is Bryan's Lunch Truck Radio, CompanyOfValleyRadio.com. Our guest is Pete Dugre of Two Trumpets. And let's talk a little bit. We've talked a lot about the industry, the marijuana industry. Let's talk a little bit about Two Trumpets. Tell us about Two Trumpets Communications.
Two Trumpets Communications. So it's me and my partner, I say both business and domestic, Leah Boyd. We started in 2018. And really, we've done a lot in ag. So we've done a lot with the cannabis farmers. We do a lot of avocado farmers as well through the association, the California Avocado Society. We do their market newsletters, their quarterly publication, their social media. So we do big umbrella communication. Our sweet spot is in long form communication with newsletters and such, but also strategy. Some folks just want to bring consultants in to help them figure out how to get their word out and represent themselves and be that authority in their industry.
Right. I don't want to make this a commercial for Two Trumpets, but anyway.
But you know what you do is harder than it sounds. You got to do a lot of work, a lot of research.
Sure. So we do communication.
He wants to make it a commercial for you. And Two Trumpets Communication.
Short answer: we do communications. We've worked a lot in cannabis. A lot of also the city, like with the city of Carpinteria. Leah does a lot of the work with their social media and newsletters. So.
Right. Do you want to make sure? Say I have a company. Say I have a company that hires hitmen.
Okay.
And it can happen.
There could be one.
And I come to you and I go, my industry has a bad reputation. And it's not necessary.
Okay.
Would you be able to repair that reputation or do anything? And you should, if you know what's good for you.
Sure. So you're telling me that I might be the next on the hit list.
No,
I might be the next on the hit list unless I can help you out. And
if you don't get it right,
I mean,
so I'd say start a LinkedIn page.
Wouldn't that be great? And the best part was thank you for getting rid of my husband. 2 thumbs up.
And for your resume, put the title "Greatest Hits."
Oh, very nice.
The man.
You are a genius.
Yeah, wow.
My God. I might call my uncle up. He should be out in 2 years. So he's a nice guy. Stay on his right side. No, but so you can do that. Do you work on burnishing people's reputation, companies' reputation, or are you there to help them communicate what they are?
Well, I think that goes hand in glove, right? When you communicate to the outside world, you want it to bolster your reputation, but you also want to know. You want your audience to know that you're an authority in whatever your field is. So I think those things go hand in hand. And nobody's going to do good business if they have a poor reputation. So yeah.
Well, Elon Musk.
Well, that might be his shtick.
Man.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Yeah, boy, that could be his shtick.
That's too much of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, we don't go there. Yeah, I don't.
I was going to ask you about the media coverage here. Disappoints me a great deal. It seems decidedly slanted against, with very few exceptions. The Independent is the only one I ever see do something on their neutral basis, and yet they still carry the articles by certain journalists I won't name who always go for the negative angle.
No comment.
Okay.
No, sorry. No. I mean, I think it's.
Want to go back to the hit?
To be fair, cannabis is a story.
No question about it. But rather than inform us on the benefits or how it could be doing us some good or what the problems are that could be solved, they go right for the whiners. They go right for the people who hate it. When the County Board of Supervisors voted 7-3 on what was it, Roots? I think.
Sure.
They went right to the 3 who voted no.
Yeah.
That was the story. Not that it passed. And then the other thing, the tax revenue. Yes, it's short. It's going to bring in $6 million. That's kind of good.
Sure. Well, I've offered advice in the past to the writers, and just to say, first thing, cannabis is great for the community, and we're all doing wonderful things. And they don't like that story, so they.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And you can see them coming. You read between the lines. You don't have to read very far. So that's kind of disappointing. That's why the station has taken a pro-cannabis attitude, at least more neutral than those outlets.
Sure. No, I agree with you that the negative slant's just been played out in 2023. High time to get over the stigma. Talk about talk about what's going on in the community from a bigger picture rather than elevating a smaller portion
Correct.
of the community.
It's interesting. I talked to a person who was against the dispensary on Santa Claus Lane, the Roots dispensary, and this is a while ago, and we're talking, I believe, 2019, maybe 2020 beginning. And what I was told was like they didn't want those type of people. And he laughs, and I kind of went, so you don't want people between 50 and 70 make about $160,000 a year?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
they're the worst.
Oh, and those cancer patients.
Yeah.
That's
right. And it's true. So who's listening, Mary, I sent her photographs from Palm Springs. Now, Cathedral City has a lot of dispensaries.
Really?
They're not all legitimate. No, they're kind of like Lompoc has something like 40 dispensaries. It has a lot.
They have but 14 that are like...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But the ones in Palm Springs itself is really regulated, and Palm Springs now has licensing for smoking lounges.
Right.
And which is fine. We have bars.
That's a coming. No, Port Wayne is either got one or getting one, and Ojai is on the way.
So what I did, I took photographs of dispensaries and told them about the mayhem around there. It was horrible. That Tesla. Oh, the Bentley part. That lady
just
with the
dreadful.
cane and going into the store. So it was really, again, what you've been dealing with is a lot of the past, which has some legitimate concerns, but it also is changing, and it's kind of like, I have friends who aren't really into the electric vehicles. They're kind of against them. We all like horsepower, and I love combustion engines, but they're here.
Burning rubber.
Yes.
Burning gas.
Oh, yes.
Don't burn oil.
Oh, yes. No, not. Now I feel bad because I do love the environment, but I am in a raffle to pick up 1957 El Camino. Okay. Yes, custom.
Is El Camino one of those things that has an identity crisis? Doesn't know whether it's a car or truck?
No.
Yeah.
El Camino knows what it is.
What can you haul on an El Camino?
I can haul a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You can haul ass.
I can haul ass. It is perfectly fine being a hybrid freak vehicle.
El Camino is the original hybrid. It's a car and a truck.
And here's the funny thing. Anybody listening, I bet they only know what the fucking El Camino is because they haven't made them in years.
I thought that was a street in L.A. or something. Yeah,
it's an acquired taste.
Obviously, you're anti-Camino.
I don't care. They are easy to make fun of.
You know what? I'm gonna have to hire you to do some promos on El Caminos.
No, that's a bridge too far, my friend.
It'll take more than a minute.
I'll have a conference and nobody will show up. Okay, let's get back.
Today's 420.
Yes, let's get back. We're getting back.
Happy 420.
Yes, we're getting back on topic, and I want to talk about again. Hopefully, you can enlighten us. How is California dealing with the monetary aspect of the marijuana industry? I think we have our own state bank for it, because it's still against the law federally? How is that handled?
I don't know that the state bank is all that active. Remember, I'm not a cannabis business person. I'm a consultant to a cannabis group, so I'll do my best. But I think that there is some risk to dealing with cannabis money because it's federally illegal. I think many great banks and credit unions have found a way to do that. It can be more expensive on the business because you have to set up your whole separate department to handle your cannabis money and to guarantee compliance. That it's all done by the letter of the law and totally transparent to any regulator. It's a pain in the butt, and it becomes costly for the business because it's a pain in the butt to handle cannabis money. And the root of that is the difference between federal and state legality.
And do you see anything on the? Maybe Dennis can answer this. He's getting closer to the microphone. Do you see? I seem to think the federal government's changing its tune.
Not under Biden.
You don't think
it won't happen under him. He's anti-pot and has been from the start.
Really?
Yeah. And is, for me, a ploy to get votes in reducing some cannabis sentences. It affected fewer than 5,000 people. It was a gesture.
But don't you think
he's
on the legislative
very anti-weed.
side? I mean, didn't Oklahoma already pass a marijuana
No, it's
law?
still down to the states and local communities. I'm saying you asked on the federal level?
Side, yes.
Not till he's gone.
But he's not going to veto it.
Yeah, he won't.
It's just a
veto
matter
it.
of the Senate.
Can they get it to him?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know where it is right now.
But would he be able to find it?
He's definitely not taking leadership on it.
No, you're at that, and you're absolutely right. The question remains: if it gets to his desk, will he sign it? Because he's rather unpredictable.
Well, I know.
Except that in the past, he's been very predictable on this issue.
And I wonder if he could find the desk. I mean,
He's got a very long past.
I mean,
just slip it in front of him. Sign this thing.
I'm like, if it's not in front of me, my milk and magnesia.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there it is.
It's a
There's
proclamation for butterflies.
Yeah, I mean, I can't find my phone. It's in my hand, so I have to cast. And I have a ways to go before I'm Joe Biden's age. I'm still finding myself.
Yeah, well,
And
a lot of people don't realize that was his stance on this for the longest time.
No, I had no idea.
You think a Democrat's in there and it's going to go that way, but Peter, that's the $64,000 question. If they get it to him, what will he do?
Oh, okay.
You can't definitely say. I think he might veto it or let it sit there or whatever he can do to avoid it.
I'll bet you, if it ever comes to fruition, a dinner at the restaurant of your choice.
All right, that he will sign it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deal.
And
Deal.
Okay.
What's the restaurant of your choice?
If I win.
Yeah, and you won't.
Oh, I don't know. I would really have to give that some thought. The Harbor, Santa Barbara, somewhere like that. Somewhere real nice.
With a view?
Yeah.
Nice.
And good food.
Yeah.
Will Bryan be your guest?
Yeah. Just you.
He's paying.
I'm
I don't see
paying.
why not. Yeah.
Pay by phone. Can I be the third wheel with you and Lorraine?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah. Well, you're paying.
Peter's never said that. He's never said sure. I've asked him twice. Can I be a third wheel with you?
As long as you pick us up in your El Camino, we ride three across the bench.
You anti-El Camino-ite.
Just three across the bench seats. I got middle.
I have bench seats. It has bench seats. I'm 303. Leave me alone. Every time I open up my car, I have a RAV4. Can a guy have a car fantasy? Just one little car fantasy?
Yeah.
All my other fantasies have been fulfilled. I live a good life.
What kind of fantasies are we talking about?
Motorcycles, wife, traveling, art, having friends,
Gratitude.
There you go.
Yeah. See, no, seriously, I have a good life living here.
Yeah. No, it's what it is like to be in Carpinteria.
And talking about that, what brought you to Carpinteria?
I grew up in Maine. Started school at University of Maine. Realized I was at University of Maine, and then I started coming out to University of California, Santa Barbara after that. But I had a easy way out because my mom had already relocated to Goleta. So
nice.
It was an easy choice for Plan B in college.
Yeah,
and then,
imagine that.
And then it was an easier choice to never leave. I got stuck.
Yeah,
I've heard it countless times. Right. I came in 1978, couldn't leave.
It's one of those cities. It really is.
Yeah. you find any way you can to stay here.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm fortunate. Again, I'm fortunate to be able to stay here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But I've been getting really bored about telling that story in recent years.
Why?
So I've been trying to concoct a new fictional story that I can pass off.
Well, you do belong to Two Trumpets, so
how
you have
located here.
You should spend some of your time with the Peter Dugre story.
Yeah, and I like to say to people I don't know very well or may never talk to again that I started.
And you're looking at me. Why do you look at me?
And I might start saying it on podcasts and radio shows, is that I came out to be part of the helicopter crew to rid the Channel Islands of boars.
Yes,
but I was a boar assassin.
Right.
In the early 2000s, and then I got landed in Santa Barbara after that.
Yeah.
After
and
my
he could
mission.
shoot for shit. He shot down 2 helicopters.
That's cool.
No, shoot down. Shot fuck, not across.
Boar.
Okay, so I have. You know what? Now, when I worked for UPS, I had a guy on my route, and he was part of the boar hunting, and he was hired. Yeah, and so I came to his house. He goes, "Hey, Bryan." I go, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, "You want some boar medallions? Wild boar medallions?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "I go, how do you prepare this?" He goes, "Oh, easy." He was wrong. Just throw it on a barbecue, slow cook it, pour gravy over it, and you're good. No, boar meat's really tough. So we looked up a recipe, I think, from 1565 France, and we marinated it in pepper, garlic, and red wine for 2 days, and we slow cooked it, and it was really, really, really good. Boar's really rough. So I actually had a boar from the islands. It was really good.
Wow.
No, it was really nice. So he was part of that.
Probably,
and he mentioned you.
Yeah, it's probably one of the ones I
goes,
got.
"See, this guy fell off a helicopter." It was, wait, and I had my ESP. I go, "That was Pete Dugre." I can tell that. He seems like a guy who fall off a helicopter.
Straight.
And he hates El Caminos.
He's a straight shooter.
He hates El Caminos. Hey guys, well, let's get into some music because we're wasting time here. Honestly.
Oh no, this is precious.
No, it isn't.
Oh, it's
is
going
it
great.
precious?
I'm having fun.
When I renew our wedding vows, can you be there and give a speech? Because you think this is precious. I got to hear what you say at that. That's just really be great. Caroline,
I'm not even high, and this is great.
Caroline had her first stroke.
You're not high?
Not right now.
No, I don't.
Waiting for this evening.
I don't get high.
Me neither.
Yeah.
No,
On life and on bourbon.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I like bourbon.
Okay.
Not scotch. And gin and tonics.
okay.
Yeah.
High is high.
You know what? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. But I just don't. And I'm in full support of the industry. I think it's a positive aspect to the community. I think there's our negatives. They are way outweighed by the positives. So.
Yeah, I know. Look, what a waste of 80 years where we were fed all this bullshit about it, and then finally to have the sunlight come through. I'm glad I'm alive to see it.
My friend's dad's knocking marijuanas or knocking back the third martini in the bar room, like, there's kids today.
Time to pick up the kids.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I was like, "Well, Mr. Johnson, you're going to drive?" "Yeah, I can fucking drive, kid." "Okay, I'm going to the pool. I'm going to look at your dog."
Gotta get home.
Yeah, I got home. Yes, I got home. So let's hit. We'll play. Let's get some music in this mess. Pete Townsend, "Let My Love Open the Door," and then one of my favorite songs from Daft Punk, "Lose Yourself to Dance." Company of Valley Radio, Bryan's Lunch Truck, and again, my God, it's lost Up in Smoke tonight at the Alcazar Theater.
And the blessing of the herb right after this program.
Yes, that's right.
All right.
Perfect.
Here we go.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, my God. We had a technical difficulty. You had a little bit of dead air there. This is Bryan's Lunch Truck Radio. I'm Bryan, and this is CompanyValleyRadio.com, and I want to give another plug to Up in Smoke tonight at Alcazar, because I promised Kim, who's listening, I would do this. Kim. Pete, you want to give a plug for tonight, too?
Yeah, that's a Cheech and Chong movie, Up in Smoke.
Yes. 7 p.m.?
7 p.m. at the Alcazar Theater. Will Kim be there?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be there, too.
Yeah. All right. I'll be there, too.
She's good people.
She is. Are you going to go, Dennis?
I'm not going to go there
Why?
tonight. No, I have stuff to do.
Really? You just mentioned while we're off the air that you're going to smoke.
It was not in my plans, and I didn't say that at all.
You're going to sit in your underwear with a fucking gallon of ice cream like this guy did one day? I'm busy.
No comment.
Okay, guys, we're kind of almost sort of running out of time. We have an invocation. We got 2 more songs. It's actually 1:03 p.m. Peter, you got the last words.
Last words on
Last
what?
words. This show.
Okay, well...
Almost. I'll have to close out. But
Okay,
well, I mean, I don't want to interrupt you. I want you to feel comfortable.
I want to say happy 420.
Yeah.
But I'm going to throw a twist. And so we did the show today, and I had to pick songs, and I picked songs that were love songs.
That's not that.
Because, 420, to go along with some of the stigma of cannabis, you get like, let's smoke as much cannabis as possible on this day and turn it into like the green like the St. Patty's Day of weed or something.
Right.
But you remember it comes back to compassion. People use this plant for medicine. People use this plant responsibly. Your neighbors use it. You might not know, or you grew up and you were told by your dad not to use it, but he was using it, and he was also a professional. But people use it for various reasons. Some for mental health, some for physical health, and I think 420 should celebrate that love and the compassion that comes with having a free and open society where people can partake in a natural plant for healing if they want.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
Would you come out back and hug my tree with me?
That was and I agree with you 100%. And like I've said before, I don't partake in any way. And I find it very interesting when we have so much damaging goods out there, and alcohol is a damaging, chemical in so many ways, and that we put this stigma up on something like marijuana. And bottom line, if marijuana is a gateway drug, it's a gateway drug to Cheetos.
And ice cream.
Yeah, basically that is. So,
but I think maybe the mentality that it's a vice kind of is self-predicting, where it makes it a gateway drug. Like, right. I'm going to go after this vice because it's so stigmatized and illegal, and it's going to change me in some ways, and I'm going after the next vice. But maybe it's not a vice, and you can change your family.
I don't think it is. I didn't think consciously like that when I was smoking marijuana and went into various other drugs. So it wasn't like, I smoke water. No, I'm going to try this. I don't think it's a gateway. If there's a gateway drug, I'll tell you right now, it's alcohol
or tobacco.
Sure. Or tobacco.
Yeah, those are the great gateway drugs.
So and I think I like your point. We should celebrate 420. Nothing wrong with the plant.
I'll know we have arrived when we get the day off.
Yeah. Oh my God, the 420 holiday.
Yeah, man.
That'd be
Why
awesome.
not?
I want to see a 420 parade. It'd go like 4 feet.
People forget to show up.
I want to see what the float would be like. He's like stuck. It'd be an El Camino. Okay, yeah. A green one, maybe. Okay, let's close out with 2 more songs. We got Steve Winwood, Bring Me Your Higher Love.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, and one of my favorite groups, house group, Kruder Dorfmeister from Germany from the mid-90s, Bug Powder Dust, Bryan's Lunch Truck Radio, CompanyValleyRadio.com.
Stay tuned for the Blessing of the Herb
and
after the music.
Stay tuned for the Blessing of the Herb. I don't normally advocate people to maybe roll a joint, eat a gummy, or take any kind of chemical things. No, I actually advocate do it. And just enjoy
responsibly.
It. Yeah, do it responsibly.
Yeah, you go moderation all the way.
Pull over on Carper Linden Avenue and don't drive. Don't do it in your car. Do it on the sidewalk. If you have to.
Yeah, and then have a nice walk up Linden.
Oh my God,
everything will be so bright and
on,
shiny.
Listen to the invocation.
Yeah.
Sit in the back of your El Camino.
Yes. You had to mention that. Okay. Anti-El Camino right in front of me. But Peter, thank you for coming on. Thank you for just showing and being informative, entertaining, and you did great. I really appreciate you here. Hey, Dennis, let's hit some music on the way out.
All right, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye now.
Tune in for Bryan's Lunch Truck every Thursday at noon Pacific at CarpinteriaValleyRadio.com.